Hey guys, Alex here with Armadillo Armament, and I wanted to make a really quick video, a unboxing if you will, on the ZEROHAWK EM1 that was recently provided to me by ZEROHAWK. Now, they have provided me two different options. They have red and they have green, and then they have a 6 MOA dot and then a 2 MOA dot with a 32 MOA circle. Now, I vastly prefer 2 MOA or smaller dots, and especially I prefer a red dot rather than a green dot. However, they sent me one of each so I can get some data on the both of them. Now, over here, I have a couple of different platforms. This dot is kind of very reminiscent of a EPS carry. It is going to be a RMSC footprint or 407K-ish footprint, if you will. Make sure that your optic plate is compatible. But this is an EPS carry with a shroud over it. And I'm going to be having the green dot living on a Glock 43, not a 43X like pictured here. And then I'm going to be having the 2 MOA red dot living on my Volquartsen. And today, I'm just going to show you guys the install, talk a little bit about the optic because I really can't find very much of it online. So I wanted to give you guys an install so you understand exactly what it looks like when you get in the package. And also, the package was really good looking. On top of that, in order to get this on the Volquartsen, they did have to send me a Picatinny mount. So I'm really excited to get this Picatinny mount because it actually does look pretty nice. And I will be taking off my Dayco Newt, which I will be having a kind of comparison video in the future between the Newt and then the EM1. These are both very budget-minded optics. Which one is better? This one's enclosed, this one's more open, this one has smaller bezels, right? We'll talk about that a little bit more in the future, but this is going to be living on my old Roland Special, pictured right here, because we know this is kind of a known constant, and I'll be able to get some more, reps on it that way. So let's get to the unboxing. Over here, like I said, we're going to be unboxing the RMSC footprint 2 MOA 32 MOA circle in red. And the reason I'm going to put the smaller MOA on the Volquartsen is the Volquartsen is much more of a kind of like an accuracy gun, right? Okay, come on, sleeve, get out of here. Whereas the Glock 43, not the 43X, is a tiny little gun and could benefit from having a bigger MOA. Over here, here's a picture of the red dot. Once again, very, very, very reminiscent of the EPS carry, and I'm really excited for that because the EPS carry is one of the best optics that you can realistically buy. So over here, ZEROHAWK, find your focus. It's actually really nice packaging. Made in China, 1.23 ounces, and then it has a warning. So let's open this up. And I did briefly look in this before, but I'm excited for you guys to see it. Grand unveiling. Precision you can feel, reliability you can count on. Find your focus and then open. So the cardboard here, we do have a quick start guide, and the cardboard has a mesh underlaying, so it can help protect the inside of this optic and the package. But this battery guide is actually pretty high quality. It's thick, tells you exactly what you should be doing, windage, elevation, MOA, how to insert the battery, etc. Down here, we have the user manual on the EM1, and then I've seen online that apparently the screws and plates and everything they give you are very high quality, super dry, desiccant towel, and then here we go. We have the EM1. So obviously this is, and it does come with a rubber shroud, it looks like. I almost never use these, but if you want to keep, a lot of people keep these on their guns, and I've seen some people say, hey, how do you get these off in like a self-defense situation? Dear God, don't keep this on your gun when it's in your pants. It's mostly just for like, keep like dirt, or not dirt, dust off of it when it's sitting on your nightstand, which even then I wouldn't necessarily recommend. But can we turn it on, and is there a battery inside? No, we're definitely going to have to get that. But regardless, like I said, this is very reminiscent of the EPS carry, as you can see. And then over here, we have the plate systems. This should be able to go on RMR, according to them. There we go. It's the first plate. And then the second plate, right here. Wrong way, Alex? Yep, wrong way. Great. So let's put these plates off to the side. And let's start taking apart the Volquartsen. Now, YouTube is for sure going to demonetize this video, but I'm not doing any, full auto changes. I'm simply putting a optic on my pistol. I'm not even changing any of the inner workings of the pistol. I'm just putting an optic on the pistol. And now let's move this out of the way and we'll set this down. And let's take a look at this Picatinny adapter. I actually haven't opened this quite yet. All right, here's the inside. And then these screws that are provided, 10.25 and 11 millimeters. Great. Now, what does this Picatinny adapter look like? So like I said, the Volquartsen adapter with the Dacon Newt was decent, but this one actually looks a little bit better, I want to say. And that's not necessarily a negative, but it just looks a little bit nicer. All right, and this is going to run a hex pattern rather than a normal key. All right, so I found the correct Torx bit. Screw this in. There we go. It's reasonably tight, and I'm not going to Loctite this because this doesn't have any reciprocating mass on it like a normal pistol would. So I don't really think there's going to be a need to Loctite it. Let's mount this and see what it looks like. Great, so it direct mounts. That looks fantastic. Awesome. So now let's unbox these screws right here. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to read instructions. So I'm gonna go with the screws that I think are going to be applicable. Come on. All right, let's drop that screw in. Let's start with the larger screws and see how they do. And you always want to do one side and then the other and like progressively tighten them up. It's kind of like doing like a thermal paste on a CPU socket, or, you know, tightening down a CPU socket actually is what I should say. You always want to apply even torque. And there we go. So that is the EM1 on the Volquartsen ZEROHAWK EM1. And now let's get a battery in this thing. All right, so inside the packaging, we have this box that is very important that we take out. This is what I'm excited for you guys to see. Look at this little pill box of the screws that they provide you. Look at that. I have to imagine I can use this on other optics, but look at how fantastic this looks. Every single different thread length. This is actually much higher quality than, you know, even Holosun provides to us. And then I'm assuming there's going to be a tool. There is. So it's kind of like a Holosun tool, which I hate to, you know, compare things, or a lot of people are afraid of comparison. I'm not. Yeah, look at that. So it really is kind of like a Holosun tool, but better. It's made out of metal. Let's see what it feels like. Yeah, that feels fantastic. And those screws are pretty snug. I don't do torque. I do have a torque wrench, but I'm not doing torque on this. And then this is going to be for your battery. Let's undo this. Great. And sometimes, okay, so this doesn't come with the battery in it. Sometimes companies will put like a piece of paper over the battery just so it's not making contact, which kind of makes sense. But inside the packaging, and then we do have something at the very bottom over here. What is this? Let's grab it from the other end. Oh, it's a microfiber cloth. It's actually really nice. Cool. I love it when companies go, you know, a little bit above and beyond and don't just provide an optic. They kind of give you like an entire suite of things. Funny enough, I never use these microfiber cloths. The only time I ever did is on like an LPVO or an ACOG, specifically an ACOG, because ACOGs just attract dust. But on a pistol, I'm usually just like wiping it against my shirt. Don't do this, by the way. I'm hoping that ZEROHAWK doesn't watch this video and see me stabbing into their packaging with a knife like an idiot into a lithium battery. This is really stupid. But hey, being a dipshit YouTuber is stupid, so... Right? It's on brand. Come on, get the heck out of there. There's a little piece of plastic that's holding it in, and it's annoying me. Oh my god, just let me in. I take back what I said. Going at this with a knife was actually the correct play. Jesus Christ. There's probably a much better way of doing that. Alright, so let's take the battery tray, and the battery tray has a little convenient plus. So it's going to go down like this, I have to assume, with the contact side up. See what happens. Yep, it is red. Great. So now let's screw that back in, and we need to use the tool. So this is a not proprietary tool because the HoloSun tool will actually work with this, but it's not going to be adjustable in the field without one of these tools, is what I should say. If that makes sense to you, upvote in the comments down below. If not, I'm sorry. All right, great. So there is our EM1. Let you guys see the red dot. There we go. That is our EM1. I'm going to put at least, 5,000 rounds of 22 through this gun before I give you a red dot review, and then at least a couple hundred rounds at minimum through a 43 style handgun. But I'm really excited for ZEROHAWK to send me this optic. Like I said, the EPS carry is one of the best optics just that exists nowadays. So I'm really excited the companies are kind of, I don't want to say borrowing that design, but paying homage to that design because they know how high quality it is. So I'm very excited to get some time on it, and I'll be reporting back to you guys once I have some more time. If you have any questions about this, zero down below. Like I said, I see very, very, very little content on this little red dot. So if you have any questions, comment down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.